Last night or yesterday we met with the HET, reference my father's mother. Now there's a number of issues we went through, and some points that had to be raised. Number one, it's now being clarified that the patrol that was outside Newton Hamilton, which Seamus Mallon called a loyalist death squad operating within the UDR Newton Hamilton, it's now been established nothing to do with the UDR. We always knew it was nothing to do with the UDR, but it's now been established that it was not UDR, and it was not UDR weapons that was used. Again, this is a myth that was created by Republicans, and Seamus Mallon, we're calling on you to retract that statement, because we're not going to let it go. You were the instigation of my father and other men being shot, and saying what you said. For a couple of days after you said it, my father was shot dead, and another man was shot dead the next night as well, a UDR man. So people say, what's this HET all about? This is what it's all about. Getting down to the facts that somewhere along the line somebody's not going to write history that it was the UDR that ended up shooting 2 Catholics on the side of the road when it wasn't. We don't know who it was, but we never established that it definitely was nothing to do with the local UDR, or indeed any UDR from in around that area. As far as the security forces know, they have no idea who was involved in that shooting. The police officer who was stopped at the checkpoint could not identify any of the individuals. Given the fact that he knew all the local UDR men, you would think this would have featured in Seamus Mallon's investigation before he run off at the mouth and caused the death of innocent Protestants in that area. But that's how Republican propaganda has worked for years, and that's how it's got away with it. Well, no longer. The other thing is, Malachi McParnell. Malachi, you haven't been seen from your shot at the Mountain House when you tried to ambush the army along with McCreesh, Quinn and McGuinness. Now, McCreesh and Quinn and them gave you up. They said that you were the other man that was there. Now, you were wounded, but you were taken away by a certain individual from White Cross and taken across the border. Now, there's still a warrant out for you. We're going to make sure that warrant is pushed. Somebody will be coming to your door and robbing it, because we are pushing to make sure that that warrant is implemented and that you are arrested. Because again, you would have the bullet wound on your body from where you were shot that day. The weapons you had on you that just dropped were used in Kings Mills, used in Tullyvallen, used in Willie Meeklam, used in Willie Frazer, used in Robert McConnell, used in numerous other murders, which all link in to the fact that you're nothing but a bunch of serial killers. That's all you were, a bunch of bloodthirsty murders. But we are not letting this go. We intend to follow this up. A lot of our politicians and them have forgot about the suffering and the hurt that our people have come through. We haven't forgot about it. Not that we're looking for revenge, but justice. You can spend over 200 odd million on Bloody Sunday to get justice for them people. Well, I would ask you, what's the difference in them than us? Well, I can tell you, my father was coming from a day's work. So was the men in Kings Mills. The men in Tullyvallen had just started to read the Bible. The same in Darkley Gospel Hall. The people just started to pray and worship in song. Not one of them, and I mean not one, was throwing a patter bomb, a stone, going for a loaf of bread during the middle of the riot. You know, at the end of the day, Bloody Sunday was a riot. It was an illegal parade, and people seem to have forgot that. But we've been asked to accept it. Well, we're not. If it was your loved one, would you move on and forget about it? If you knew that he was lying on the road and his feet kicking where he'd been shot. A lot of these people haven't seen anybody shot to know the reaction. It's not like the films. Far from it. It's not a romantic where you go up into the air and come down and you're dead. That's not the way it happens. The nerves keep going. People stay alive for maybe only 30 seconds or a minute, but during that time they're suffering, they're going through pain, and that's what we're looking at justice for. Nothing more, nothing less. Not revenge, just what we're entitled to, and that's justice. So Malachi, we are coming after you, and we are going to make sure that warrant is implemented. If you're still alive, I don't know if you are or not. If you're dead, that's unfortunate, because we'd like to see you in front of the courts. McCreish, Quinn and McGuinness, they all made statements against you, so there's enough witnesses to say that you were the man that were there that day. We also know you were involved in a number of other murders as well, and I say the Sten gun that was used, you used that in quite a few murders. And matter of fact, one individual that you kidnapped, who was a local man, and brutally tortured, tied his arms behind his back with barbed wire, and that's fact, because I know the doctor that seen it, and the doctor come back and told us exactly what he had done to this individual. Now, McParnell, you're one of the men. The McCreish, well, he's dead, you know. He was the milkman. He was the boy that went round and targeted his neighbours while he was delivering the milk to them. This is the sort of individuals that these people are. They'll come to your door and smile at you and give you a pint of milk and then come back in the middle of the night and cut your throat. We understand that. We know the nature of the beast. The problem is there's too many people out there who don't understand the nature of this animal that they're dealing with. These people are destroying our country from within the government, and our people are sitting back smiling and laughing. A lot of people buckled at the knee because they weren't prepared to take the stand. The people who did take the stand and paid the price know exactly what price they paid and why they paid it. It's all well and good singing loyalist songs and chanting in a dance hall somewhere, but whenever you come out through the door and are asked what your principles are and are you prepared to lay your life on the line for your principles, it's a different kettle of fish. And that's what's wrong in this country. A lot of people are making decisions about the future of this country who have never seen terrorism or suffered at the hands of it, and I hope they never do. But the one thing I can assure you, that the people in South Armagh will not bear the brunt of it this time. We will not sit idly by and take what we did for the last 35 years. But they can turn on and off like a tap. Now who can do that? Who can turn these people on and off like a tap to work with the political situation? Now I've asked you to sit down and consider it. To sit down and study. If you're going to make a decision on the future of your country, at least study what's going on. And we've well paid monkeys now who will try and tell you that everything is okay. When there's policemen being moved out of their homes, there's policemen being intimidated day and daily. There's UDR men being targeted. UDR men, that's right. Men who haven't been in a force for 15 years are being targeted because they were UDR men. Where did we hear that before? Wouldn't have been a case that most of the UDR men that were murdered were also B specials. You know, history repeats itself in this country, and the sooner people realise that, the better. The other thing I want to raise is the fact that Sinn Féin and DUP, there is no difference in the First and Deputy First Minister. One cannot do anything without the other. And this talk about Conor Murphy has to go. Conor Murphy will go nowhere unless Gerry Adams and Martin McGuinness say so. And if anybody actually believes that Martin McGuinness is going to stand up and sack Conor Murphy, they're living in cuckoo land. Cuckoo land. Go and see your doctor and get your medication, because that's what you should be on. To think that Conor Murphy would get the sack, have a bit of sense, people. And this is the thing I can't understand. There's a lot of intelligent people out there are falling for this line. It's the same with the GAA. We see Mr. Ringland walking away because the GAA leading unionists wouldn't go to GAA matches. Well, I had asked Mr. Ringland, has he went to the GAA and asked them why they're naming grounds after murders? Why they're holding events in the name of IRA men who butchered not only my community but his community? Why he wants people to go to the grounds that are called after men that butchered people from his community? Why is this so important to him? And why has he went and asked the GAA why are they doing fundraising for the IRA? Why are they flying their tricolours in their grounds in South Armagh? Because if it was Union Jack that flew at a football ground, all hell would break loose. But it seems to be the GAA can fly their tricolours wherever they want. I've nothing against the tricolour been flown in the south of Ireland. It's the flag of that country. But to fly it down here is it's a sign of treason. And it's also a sign of glorification of the murder of the Unionist innocent victims. Never mind Protestants. The hundreds of Roman Catholics that they murdered as well. Now, Ringland, you come and explain that to me. You're a very intelligent man. Let's hear you come and explain that to our people. Why you want our politicians to go to an organisation that is renowned for supporting the IRA, have raised millions for the IRA. Why do you want a unionist politician to go to a GAA match?